Isaiah Stewart. A name that has stirred controversy in the modern NBA. He's no stranger to on-court altercations, squaring up with Blake Griffin, taking shots at Giannis, clashing with Draymond Green, and even going full-on beast mode on LeBron James. But what if Stewart played in an era with real enforcers? What if he had to face the bad boys of basketball? Buckle up, because this scenario is about to get wild. In today's NBA, physicality is watered down. A hard foul gets you ejected, and even trash talk can result in a technical. But back in the day, there were no safe spaces on the court. So, let's imagine Stewart stepping onto the hardwood in the late 80s, 90s, and early 2000s, where four of the most feared enforcers awaited him. Dennis Rodman, Ron Artest, Bill Laimbeer, and Ben Wallace. Let's start with Dennis Rodman. The Worm wasn't just an elite defender and rebounder, he was a mind game specialist. Stewart might try to get physical, but Rodman would have him chasing shadows, baiting him into frustration fouls before laughing in his face. And if Stewart tried to flex, Rodman would probably get into his head, make him lose focus, and get him benched. Now, what about Ron Artest? Before he became meta world peace, Artest was one of the most feared defenders in the league. If Stewart thought he could outmuscle opponents, Artest would have been a nightmare matchup. His aggressive, no-nonsense style meant he wouldn't back down from any fight. Stewart's antics would only fuel him. And if things got heated, we all know Artest wasn't afraid to throw hands. And then, we have Bill Laimbeer, the master of the cheap shot, the ultimate villain. If Stewart had a problem with LeBron's elbow, imagine what would happen if Laimbeer gave him a classic forearm to the ribs. There wouldn't be any social media callouts or NBA investigations, just raw, brutal basketball where respect had to be earned the hard way. Finally, Ben Wallace. The anchor of the go into work Pistons, Big Ben was an absolute force in the paint. If Stewart thought he was the toughest big man on the court, Wallace would quickly remind him who really owned the paint. A fight with Wallace. Let's just say we all remember what happened when Artest got too close to him. Stewart wouldn't just be outmatched physically, he'd be looking for an escape plan. Stewart might be tough by today's standards, but in the era of the real bad boys, he would be just another name on the list of guys who learned the hard way. The NBA's past enforcers didn't just play physical, they made you think twice before stepping on the court with them. So the next time Stewart squares up with a superstar, let's remember, he's lucky he wasn't born a few decades earlier. Because in the land of the true bad boys, his antics wouldn't just be met with pushback. They'd be met with punishment. Agree? Disagree? Let's hear it in the comments.